When you're writing a college paper, there are four basic things that you want to think about. You want to think about your paper's structure, about your paper's documentation, about the writing in your paper, and about the thinking that goes into your paper. This video lesson is about the quality of thinking in college level writing. So what exactly is academic writing? Well, this is a definition I want to offer you. Academic writing isn't just writing into a black hole. It's actually joining a conversation that's been going on for a long time, and that conversation is about a wide range of perspectives, new ways of thinking, and the conversation goes on between knowledgeable individuals. So when you're writing a college paper, you're really joining this academic discourse or academic dialogue. You're joining into the conversation that has already been going on. And you're one of the knowledgeable individuals that's participating in this conversation. So what does it mean to be knowledgeable? Well, right away, I want to dispel a very common myth. Many times, students think that being knowledgeable in their writing means trying to sound really smart in their writing. That's a myth. Being knowledgeable looks a little bit more like this. Being knowledgeable means you have something to say and that you're also listening to what others have to say. Being knowledgeable means doing both of those things, speaking and listening. Being knowledgeable means that you're continuing to learn and that you're doing that learning by formulating questions, which means you're curious and engaged. So you're formulating questions and then you're exploring a range of ideas, and you find those ideas not just from any old source, but from sources that are credible, that are reliable, that are trustworthy. So, are you a thoughtful writer? How do you know? Well, are you well informed about your topic? Or are you poorly or thinly informed about your topic? Have you considered a range of views, and do you consider a range of views in your paper? Or do you just consider one view, perhaps only your view? Does your paper show that you've explored credible sources? Or have you relied on sources that aren't particularly trustworthy or credible? And then in your writing, are you saying something new? Or are you just repeating and rehashing ideas that have already been talked about, not just by one other person, but by a lot of other people? Well, if you're poorly informed, or if you're only writing about your view, or if you've consulted or are using unreliable sources in your paper, or if you're just repeating old, obvious ideas, you may not be a thoughtful writer. So, are you listening to what has already been said in your paper? Can we tell? We can tell that you've listened because in your paper you're considering a range of views. You're acknowledging diverse perspectives. You don't have to agree with those perspectives, but you're not ignoring them. And then, are your sources credible? Are they well informed? You're supposed to be well informed. You want the people that you're writing to be well informed. And the sources that you pull into your paper also need to be well informed. So you want to make sure those sources know what they're talking about, that they're reliable, and that they're trustworthy. And then finally, in your writing, are you ultimately guiding your audience towards a new way of thinking, towards a fresh perspective? Those are all signals that you're a thoughtful writer. So how do you show your thinking in your writing. You want to show that you've listened to what's already been said. You want to show that you've listened to what's already been said by other writers or other experts. But also, and this is important, you want to show that you've listened to what was said in the course content for which you're writing your paper. Are you demonstrating in your paper that you did all the reading you were supposed to do to prepare for the paper, that you watched all the videos, listened to all the lectures? And then also, did you listen to and fully read the instructions for that particular assignment? If your paper doesn't show that you've listened to other writers, and if it doesn't show that you've listened to the instructions and content that you've been given, then your paper suggests that you haven't listened. And so the quality of thinking in your paper is not going to be as strong as it needs to be. How do you show that your ideas are balanced? Well, you make space for more than one point of view in your paper. You also avoid making overgeneralizations. So you want to qualify your claims. You don't want to say everybody thinks this, or nobody thinks this, or this is never true, or this is always false. Those are overgeneralizations. You want to be precise and accurate in your claims. You can also show your thinking in your paper by giving fresh ideas, and that starts with your title. Use an original title. And then give your reader new ways to think about what others have said and thought. You're including your unique perspective in your paper, and that perspective is well informed in the ways that we've talked about. So it's not unique without having explored all the possibilities. It's unique because it has explored the different possibilities and is offering that new and informed perspective to your reader. Then finally, are your ideas in your paper trustworthy? Did you represent your sources correctly or accurately? That means you have to have understood them. Then when you use them in your paper, you have to represent them accurately. Don't misrepresent them. And then as long as your ideas are logical and as long as you're using good, thoughtful reasoning, your ideas are trustworthy. So those are some ways that you show high quality thinking in your paper. So back to the definition. Academic writing is an ongoing conversation about a wide range of perspectives and new ways of thinking between knowledgeable individuals, including you. When you write an academic paper, you're joining the academic conversation. So hopefully this gives you a better idea about the aspect of good thinking in your paper. And just remember, any paper that's well informed, logical, and thought-provoking is a good idea